I still remember the exact moment everything shifted. The way it felt like someone had yanked the floor out from under me. I was scrolling through my phone, sipping my morning coffee, when I saw it. A picture my wife had sent, captioned with a laughing emoji. Remember him? The guy from college who couldn't even parallel park. I chuckled at first. That was classic her, teasing me, always joking about old flames. But then, right after, my chest tightened in a way I couldn't explain. There was a second message, this time from a friend, Julia. A short video of them laughing, her hand brushing against something too intimate, and then the screen went black with the sound of sudden, soft kiss. My stomach sank. At first, I tried to convince myself I was reading it wrong. I even replayed the video 3 times, hoping my brain had fabricated it. But no, the way Julia leaned in, how close their faces were. It wasn't playful. Not at all. I felt dizzy, my hand shaking around my mug. I tried to brush it off, told myself I was overreacting. Maybe it was a joke, a silly moment blown out of context. But then came the missed calls. Hours of missed calls from her that ended with sorry, my phone died, or just busy at work. The text that appeared innocuous, like running errands, talk later. But the timing always felt wrong. I started noticing the little things. How she'd suddenly laugh a little too long on her phone. The way she'd tuck away when I walked into the room. The fleeting nervous glance when I mentioned plans for the weekend. I began to question myself. Was I imagining this? Was I reading too much into innocent moments? But a gnawing sense of unease wouldn't let me rest. Every memory we shared that had once been warm now flickered with doubt. That night, I sat in our living room, staring at the glow of the TV that wasn't on, trying to replay every interaction over the past month. Each "I love you" felt heavy, as if there were lies tucked behind the curve of her smile. A week later, I decided to confront the uncertainty head-on. I asked her, casually at first, "Hey, what's going on with you and Julia lately? You guys seem really close." She laughed, the kind of easy, teasing laugh that had once made me melt. "Oh, come on, we're just friends. You know I don't talk about my exes seriously. It's just banter." She kissed my cheek, and I forced a smile, nodding, even though a part of me refused to believe her. But Julia's behavior that same night told a different story. We were hosting a small dinner at our apartment. Just the 3 of us. Julia leaned in under the guise of joking, brushing her lips briefly against my wife's shoulder. It was a casual, friendship gesture to the outside eye, but to me, it was a dagger. The room spun, every laugh and clink of glasses slicing through the bubble of trust I'd built around myself. My wife didn't even seem to notice, or maybe she did, and she was too good at pretending. I left early, claiming a headache, and sat in the car, gripping the steering wheel so hard my knuckles burned. The betrayal didn't feel cinematic. There was no dramatic shouting or wild confrontation, just this quiet, suffocating realization that the life I thought I knew was slipping through my fingers. I kept replaying moments, trying to find a pattern, a clue I could have acted on sooner. The text came next, from her, accidentally sent to me instead of Julia. Messages filled with inside jokes, flirtatious emojis, and confessions that were meant to stay hidden. I stared at my phone, mouth dry, the world narrowing down to those words. My heart wanted to scream, to demand answers, but my mind went numb. When I confronted her finally, in the quiet of our bedroom, I expected anger, denial, maybe even tears. Instead, she just looked at me, eyes wide, almost ashamed. I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered. It just did. I didn't know how to stop it." Her voice cracked, but it wasn't the sound of remorse. It was the sound of someone caught in their own choices. I wanted to shout, to rage, to pull at the seams of every lie, but all I could do was shake my head. The days that followed were a haze of silent tension. I moved through the apartment like a ghost, haunted by memories that once brought comfort. Morning coffee together, the brush of her hand against mine, the way she used to laugh at my terrible jokes. Now, each gesture felt contaminated, each memory a knife twisting in my chest. I tried to reconcile the love I still felt with the betrayal I couldn't ignore. Finally, The breaking point came when I saw them together again. This time on a video call Julia had accidentally left open, laughter spilling out, the same closeness, the same hidden intimacy I had tried to convince myself didn't exist. My chest tightened so violently I had to step outside. Cold air hitting my face, grounded me in the painful clarity I had been avoiding. I couldn't stay. I couldn't watch someone I loved so deeply erase the boundaries of our trust for the sake of fleeting desire. I confronted her again, this time with finality. I spoke slowly, deliberately. Words measured convey the hurt without collapse. I loved you with everything I had. I trusted you, but you chose someone else. And I won't, stand here and pretend that's okay. She tried to speak, to reach out, but I didn't move. For the first time, I felt an unfamiliar but steady sense of self. The strength to walk away from what I loved because it had become toxic. Packing my things later. The apartment felt smaller, emptier, but there was a strange comfort in the quiet. The betrayal had hurt, yes, but it also revealed a truth I couldn't ignore. I was done questioning myself, done blaming my perception. The love that remained for her would always be part of me, but it would no longer dictate my worth. I walked away, carrying only what I needed, the cool night air brushing against my face. I thought of the mornings I'd wake without suspicion, the trust one had given freely, and I let it go, step by step. The pain lingered, of course, a dull ache in the background of every memory. But with it came clarity, the slow rebuilding of a life where I would no longer be invisible, deceived, or second to someone else's fleeting desire. In the end, the hardest lesson wasn't about a betrayal. It was about learning to reclaim myself, to hold my dignity close, and understand that love, no matter how deep, isn't enough when trust is broken. The kiss, the hidden messages, the laughter at secrets. They all burned, yes, but they also taught me something vital. Sometimes walking away is a weakness, it's survival, and the first step toward finding peace.